Ah,
Don't skip don't skip
hello, 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 hello.
skip
Hello, 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 hello. So I guess we will start the.
I guess we will start
Okay,
the.
let's.
I guess we will start
Okay,
the.
let's.
So I
I think we will start now. I'll just put the timer for myself. Okay, one that. I'll do this every hour. I mean, 1 hour a day. Just a progress. My programming shows how much I have learned some things. And I think naano ko sa lecture 3. Lecture 3 is about non-mutating and mutating methods. And the quiz that we had was very complicated for me, even though I had a little bit of background with coding. And yeah, it is what it is. I'll just have to be consistent because I'm not really that. No, I think I'm smart, but yeah, I don't have to doubt myself. That's for sure. Okay, anyways, let's start. Mm, so I'll go to Python and VS Code. Sorry for the background noise. As you can see, we should recall first. As you can see, we have three Python files, the app, database, and the main. We know that app is for the design. The database is the script or how the app runs. And I think we are at the point where we will have to design our app much more pretty or much more better. No, actually just make the bone or the framework of the app itself, the design of the app itself. Let's get through that, and I think I'll mute myself first. Just check. Okay, did not start the timer. I will start the timer now. Now we are ready to rock and roll.
volunteering. Nescafe. Bangon. Gisingin ang mundo.
can be called anything. Initialize UI, init UI is what I like to call it. The first thing we need to do is I need to create an object for everything that
Oh no, I did not mute. Anyways, um, uh, what is it again? Yeah, we have to define the init UI, this, uh, with a sub variable of self. We know that init UI refers to the UI or the design. As you can see, there is a comment line that says hashtag design. I'm sorry for the loud noise. So yeah, we will go forward, but hold on, I might just change my hotkeys because every time I press Control 1, Control 2, I put a new tab, and I'm not quite used to that when I will be using this kind of format with the streaming hotkeys. Nice. I'm talking too much, so I'll just change the hotkeys for a little bit. Uh, a little bit. I think I'll just put option 1. So yeah, I think that's better. Option 1 is mute and option 2 is unmute. Okay, I'll go and focus now. Anyways, yeah.
that I want to see in our application. Okay, so all the buttons, the table, everything else, I want it to pretty much be here first. So I'm just going to label for us, create all objects. We need these objects before we put them on the app screen. So we have a date, so I'm going to create one called date box. This is just going to be equal to QDateEdit. Now, in order to get the current date, actually, I'm going to take the date box we just made, and I'm going to say, which one is it? Is it set date? It is set date. And inside set date, we imported something. Where is it? QDate right here. I'm just going to drop in QDate, and I'm going to say current date. All right, so whatever date is, every time the app loads, it's just going to automatically use that date for you. Now we need a drop-down box. This will allow the user to choose what their expense is for: transportation, rent, food, entertainment, you name it. That's just a drop-down box. Nothing needs to go inside there for now. We will populate it later. I'm going to create one called amount. This is going to be our QLine edit, so I can enter the amount that I spent. And then we could give a description for what we spent it on. So I'm going to drop that there. Okay. Now I have two buttons. I have an add button and I have a delete button. So let's create button add. This is going to be a Q push button. As a keyword argument, you can just put text here, add expense. And we will also create a button for deleting from our database and from our application. And I will just call this one delete expense.
As you can see, there are 5 to 2 additional of 2 of the def unit UI self commands. Date box correlates to the QDate edit that was imported within the Python directory, and then the date box set date still is, and its function is the QDate that current date. So and I think it emphasizes the current date of the world and the current during the present time. Then set self drop down is equals to Q combo box, which means that we add through things here like kind of brainstorming or dumping some kind of stuffs. So anyways, I will go to amount. It mentions the Q line edit, the description, Q line edit still, in which we have two more functions to consider within that. The self button add is equals to Q push button which means add expense, and then the button delete, which means the delete expense.
Pretty cool, right? So I have a lot of the objects, not all of them. I'm missing one really important one. I'm missing the table. So our database, we can't see the database. The SQL is done behind the scenes. But every time we add something or delete something, it's not only going to update our database, the changes need to be reflected and shown inside this table of what we can see in our application. So here we can use QTable widget. Inside here we'll say 0 and 5. Then let's take our table and let's say set horizontal header labels. I think it's labels, not items. It's labels. This is going to take a list. So what do you want the column names to be across? All right. And ideally this is going to match our database as well. So I'm going to have ID. Each task, each item, each expense will have its own ID.
Dude, I'm so fucking sleepy. Hold on. I still have an hour to go with this. I'll just bear it up, and keep on talking, so that I won't sleep. And yeah, so we have this self type shit. So
We're going to
let's just check the functions of the definition init UI comes to life, while mine comes to absolute destruction. Anyways,
have the date. We can have the category.
what was I saying? I forgot what I was saying. Nice.
You can be creative here, right? This is just an expense app, but it's going to work for anything. We could have our amount, and then we can have here our description. Okay, so those are the header titles. Now, I'll actually spawn this, and I'm going to put something here. I'm going to say edit table width. I'm not going to style this yet. I want you to see what happens first, and then we'll style it. Okay, so this is init UI. Now, we need to also add widgets to a layout. And this layout is either a column or a row. Okay, so I'm going to do this through a different method, trying to keep organized here. And I'm just going to call this setup layout. Okay, so first thing I like to do is I like to create all my layouts. You can only have one master container. Okay, so no matter if you have 3 rows and 5 columns, whatever, everything needs to be held in one final layout. My final layout is going to be a vertical layout. You could use either or here, actually. It's just how you structure your containers. I'm going to have 3 rows, row 1, row 2, row 3. And these are going to hold all the information we need. So all of the above widgets, except our table. Our table doesn't really need it. I can just add it to the master layout, the column. So before we start with the master layout, I need to start with row 1. What do you want to see in row 1?